a lost cause. And to them I say that lost causes are the only ones worth fighting for. There are those who say that while they couldn't make it to one March 10 event, they'll come to the one next year. Next year, the very purpose of our struggle is to make sure we don't have to keep meeting like this. When we meet for this occasion, we should hold in our hearts the desire for this to be the last year. We cannot become comfortable with meeting like this every year. We must fight for our people, our country, and our freedom. To wherever our struggle continues, we must carry on. And if the long history of our nation is to end, it will end with all of us fighting to that end. Long live His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. May the day in which he returns to his homeland be ever swift, and may the aspirations of the 6 million Tibetans be ever fulfilled. Pagalo! Pagalo!
We all stand here today in the same spirit as those before us to commemorate the 61st anniversary of the National Tibetan Uprising, to honor and remember all the Tibetans who sacrificed their lives for our nation's struggle for freedom. It has been 61 years since China ruthlessly took over, and the Tibetan people inside Tibet are still suffering. How are we able to live in this free country knowing that our brothers and sisters are still suffering in Tibet? They've been suffering for over 61 years. While we were busy here watching football on TV, a child in Tibet watched as their father got taken away by the Chinese police. While we were complaining about the cold Minnesota winters here, a family was pushing through the snow in the Himalayas in an attempt to escape the Chinese occupation. As we were just starting to get comfortable in this American life, there were Tibetans ending their lives by literally burning their bodies for Tibet. Since 2009, 156 Tibetans have self-immolated inside Tibet, and 10 have self-immolated in exile in India and Nepal. These individuals were people just like you and me. They were sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, students and farmers. But in desperation for the greater cause of the Tibetan struggle, they sacrificed their lives. Imagine how much it stings when we accidentally pinch ourselves with a needle. We yell in pain. Now, try to imagine how it must have felt for these 156 Tibetans who doused their bodies in oil and set a squirt to engulf their whole body in flames. I am only 23 years old, but some of these martyrs were younger than me. Sangye Dramala was 17 years old, and Dorji Gyat was 16 years old when they self-immolated inside Tibet. They had their whole lives ahead of them. We cannot let their deaths go in vain. we demand that Xi Jinping and the People's Republic of China allow human rights in Tibet to end the religious, cultural, gender, economic, and environmental injustices they've been committing for the past 61 years. In addition, we demand that the United States of America and the United Nations take notice and condemn the Chinese government for these actions. You must act now and act soon, because it has been 61 years too long. For my fellow Tibetans living in the free world today, the responsibility of the future of Tibet cannot and does not lie only in the hands of the Central Tibetan Administration or the organizations. But the future of Tibet lies on the shoulders and hearts of every Tibetan individual who is standing in front of me today. This hope of achieving human rights and the safe return of Khonsa Cho to Tibet can only be fulfilled if we work inclusively and collectively, regardless of the differences among us. To my fellow young people here today, I urge you all not only to join the fight for the cause, Tibetan cause, but just as importantly, to cultivate and hold your language, your delicate language, history, and culture close to your heart. Being raised in exile, especially in the United States, we now have the special responsibility to preserve what it means to be a Tibetan. Our parents and grandparents worked so hard, but now it is on us. 도서적이 숨기열에 간나기 쉬긴도 마음 배기 선사래. We are the future seeds of Tibet, and without us, there may not be a future for us. For the sake of our people, our culture, and our future, we must continue to fight for human rights in Tibet. It has been 61 years since we lost our country, but we cannot lose hope for Tibet. The moment we lose hope is the moment that China has officially won. However, hope itself will not free Tibetans of their suffering. We must act. Every one of us is capable of taking an active role in the Tibetan movement, no matter how big or how small. The Chinese government may seem powerful, but they will never defeat us. Because of the strength of the Tibetan people and our supporters, we just recently saw the recent closing of the Chinese consulate's propaganda Tibetan exhibit at the Queen's Library in New York. This is just one piece of hope, a piece of proof that change is just on the horizon, and change is coming. Whether it takes 5 years or 50 years, the Tibetan people will never stop resisting until China has given humanity and human rights back to Tibet. I will never settle until my late Popolas and Momolas are able to rest in peace, knowing that we are finally able to return home. We will never stop fighting until one day we are able to stand hand in hand with those in Tibet on the grounds of Lhasa, looking to the sun with our proud Tibetan flag waving in the sky. The Tibetan people united shall always be victorious. We shall fight and we shall win. 세상 재미있다든지 어떻게 무튼에 미라를 미라파를 내기래. And more importantly, China may have taken control of Tibet, but it will never win the control over the hearts and the minds of the Tibetan people. Pigalo! 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 Lastly, I would like to mention another date that is just as significant as today. 2 days after the first Tibetan uprising, on March 12, 1959, Kundalin Kusang, along thousands of Tibetan women gathered outside the Botalam Palace in protest against the merciless Chinese occupation. This day is known as Pegi Pimi Gelang, or Tibetan Women's Uprising Day. In the following years, many of these women were imprisoned, tortured, and killed, but few survived to tell their story. This event is proof in itself that Tibetan women then and now are not just for sitting on the sidelines. We are no less than men. Tibetan women have done just as much and continue to be leaders in the Tibetan movement today. So please join the Tibetan Women's Association of Minnesota on March 12th at the Minneapolis Government Center this Thursday at 5 p.m. to commemorate the 61st anniversary of the Tibetan Women's Uprising Day and all they have done for the movement. Thank you.
Lot, appreciation. Today, I could pay. Any could be the Kasura. Never do the thing in it. But what today, so you can both it is demand to get lost. Me, each in some magazine, Perochi, and the Nepal too much day on it. This is not good.
Hello. Today, computer fair, and computer would you nang it there to Chapala, and a number of the Tangamaki, Pani, Chapalagi, Julia Mituni Peroche, and a day.
We want justice.
Permian. Pension Lama.
Release, release! Release, release! Long live! Long live! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Wakil Dhamma! Wakil Dhamma! Wakil Dhamma!
Stop the killing! In Tibet! Stop the genocide! In Tibet! Stop the genocide! In Tibet!
Justice
Stop the killing!
in Tibet.
Stop the killing! Stop the genocide! Stop the genocide! Long live! Long live! Stop the genocide! Human rights! Human rights! Long live! Long live! Human rights! Human rights! United Nations! United Nations! Human rights! Human rights! Long live! Long live!
We want justice! We want justice!
want justice.
We want justice. The bad belongs to the bad belongs to the bad belongs to
We want justice! In Tibet!
Benjamin Lama.
When do we want? We want justice. When do we want? Now. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Freedom of religion. In Tibet. Freedom of religion. In Tibet. Freedom of speech. In Tibet. Freedom of speech. In Tibet. Freedom of media. In Tibet. Freedom of media. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Freedom of religion. In Tibet. Freedom of speech. In Tibet. Freedom of speech. In Tibet. Freedom of media. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Long live. Long live. Long live. Long live. Long live. United Nations. United Nations. We want justice. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Freedom of religion. In Tibet. Freedom of religion. In Tibet. Freedom of media. In Tibet. Freedom of speech. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Release, release. Release, release. Stop the killing. In Tibet. Stop the genocide. In Tibet. Stop the genocide. In Tibet. Long live. Long live. Long live. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Freedom of speech. In Tibet. Freedom of speech. In Tibet. Religious freedom. In Tibet. Religious freedom. In Tibet. Freedom of media. In Tibet. Freedom of media. In Tibet. Release, release. Release, release.
Benjamin Lama.
United Nations. We want justice. United Nations. We want justice. Human rights. In Tibet. Human rights. In Tibet. Hergitapo. Hergitapo. Tibet belongs to. Tibet belongs to. Hergitapo. Hergitapo. Long live. Long live. Tibet belongs to. Tibet belongs to. God and Muslim media. United Nations. United Nations. Long live. Long live. Hergitapo. Human rights. Stop the killing. Stop the killing. United Nations. United Nations. Freedom of speech. Rights. Human rights. Long live. Long live. Stop the killing. Stop the genocide.